Hello, good morning, my friends. We're back with another episode of Rise of Nations. We're gonna spread democracy across the world. Mostly right now, the continent of North America. Gonna overrun the station and declare manifest destiny on the Lakota. Sorry. Declare a peacekeeping operation in the Lakota because we've seen that the Lakotans are not treating themselves very well. So, we want to spread the word about freedom. Freedom and democracy. Classical American values in the classical age. And we're starting our capital out in Seattle. Getting everything set up. How is everyone doing this morning? I was drawing some Christmas cards out and got bored. Decided to take a break. If you didn't know Christmas was coming, you must not work in retail. All I've been hearing is Christmas songs. And getting memes about Mariah Carey Christmas songs from my friends, which I guess I haven't been paying too much attention. I worked in a retail store, but never really ever paid attention to the store music. Let's do some exploring. Christmas is coming early, so well, coming soon, so you better be prepared. Anyway, on this glorious December the 4th, Tulsi is going to stake her claim in the New World, expanding the American Empire, the American peacekeeping operation. Continue our policy of making the world safer. Get those mines up. Let's wait on our science research. And Mommy actually qualified for the next primary election, so I'm really happy to hear about that. I also heard that Kamala Harris dropped out, which is quite interesting. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into politics, this is just for fun. Doesn't really matter who runs the empire right now. I want to get all these structures up as fast as possible, so we don't get too far behind. Our allies, our enemy is already established in this region. And because of how the Lakota work, you don't get to see their national boundaries, so I have no idea the extent of their presence on the map right now. I just have to keep building and building and hope for the best. And I know the natives build up pretty... they have a sizable army, usually. Now, I was doing some research because out of curiosity, once I was done playing this, I wanted to know if Native Americans ever had siege equipment in their, conflicts. And it's really weird. I still have to do more research, but I actually did not find any information, any reliable sources of information on Mesoamerican siege warfare. I read some comments from just I guess, history buffs who claim that the Mayans were definitely a civilization that used defensive walls, and so I assume that any conflicts with the Mayans needed some sort of siege equipment to breach or break down the walls. But aside from that, I don't have much information. I know that the Mayans like to use double walls, and they had a lot of like reinforced walls and barriers and towers. And they were the only nation, I think, in that region that used to employ these tactics. I've heard, I don't know for sure, I still have to do the research, but I've heard that the Aztecs actually preferred just open field combat. They like to terrify their enemies into submission. So they did not prefer to use walls. Walls were an alien concept to them mostly. But they've actually, if you look at the different cities that the Aztecs created, you'll notice that there's kind of like a canal built, you know, around the city, around the major cities, so that any invaders coming through would have to, you know, try to siege the city via canoe. Like they'd have to get to the mainland of the city by traveling over a canal. So it was really complicated to actually raid or siege these cities or capture them. I think who was it? Cortez tried to take a major Aztec city, and his army was completely decimated because he wasn't expecting. He didn't know how to properly siege and capture the city. Anyway, I don't have enough information, so I'm not going to make any positive claims either way. Maybe in another video, when I'm more informed, I'll talk about it. I was recently reading about, I think it was Mayan religion, Mayan mythology. There's a lot of interesting beliefs that were developed from that religion that carried on into the Aztecs. And I think their religions originate from the Olmec. I'm not too sure. No, I think the Olmec I think are culturally different. I don't know, that region is kind of a mystery to me. I'm trying to learn as much as I can though. I'm interested in the mythologies of different cultures. Trying to branch out. So we're gonna build some archers and just get up a defensive position here. It's the Lakota. I don't know much about the Lakota. That should have been something that I researched. I don't know why I ended up researching Central American societies. I guess because from my perspective they seem more developed, which is unfair. I know that the Iroquois especially had matriarchal society with a government form that was actually adopted, in a sense, by the Americans when they were considering how to establish their republic. I know that I don't know the exact details, but I know that the Iroquois were influential in the eventual formation of the American government, like how it was set up and established. A lot of the principles that the Iroquois used for governance were transferred to the American system. The American system wasn't purely based on Greek or Roman or even British forms of government. So what are we working on? Building up our city here, Hartford. We're expanding west. bit of Manifest Destiny. Try to make it as painless as possible. Get our classical age caravans out in Native America, where these types of caravans never existed. Because that makes sense. I mean, I guess they didn't really know what to do, I think, for classical age Native America, classical age United States. Because such a thing is preposterous. We're being raided. Let's get our civilians to safety. Get our single cavalrymen to go and attack the archers. It's a pretty pathetic raid by my enemy. Oh, they have more down here, I didn't even notice that. Still though, I think we'll be okay. Getting my light cavalry on these guys. Cavalry archers can support the side. And infantry will just come in and start attacking. And we're good. We're good. Send everyone back out to work and we should be fine. Not fall behind on industry. I like how the AI just randomly sends their scouts around the area with no consideration of like fortifications or towers. Just drive their units right through. I guess they see the scouts as disposable. Just want to make sure I build up my third city and get the fort up. The more forts I have on my frontier while I'm waiting for cities, the better. And building up my third city is going to be good. It's going to sustain my economy while I push forward. Make sure I don't get raided too badly. Start building up my military at this point. I think our economics are relatively secured, and I want to make sure that if I have a chance to do double research, my research isn't slowed down by not having a second library. Generally, you don't need more than 2 libraries. And the extra knowledge boost is good too, because when you build certain buildings, you get extra resources, so that's good too. I think my economy is doing okay. Seems my opponents advanced to the same age. Don't have that much of an advantage. Oh, sorry, I haven't even advanced yet. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is a free raid. Not the smartest idea to put your woodcutting right beside my borderline frontier. That's okay though. Totally okay with getting free resources. So as I was saying, it's not really conclusive based on... I did very brief research. So I'm not sure if the Native Americans had access to siege weapons during this time period. I think probably by the time the Europeans arrived, they might have had some siegecraft. I'll do more research to verify it, because it's an interesting idea. Like, we don't learn much about the region in high school history. It's more of an advanced concept, I guess, in university to even consider international history. We mostly learned, even in world history, we didn't really learn much about Mesoamerica. Or even North America too much. We learned a little bit about the Iroquois, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The Iroquois system of government was pretty much all we learned. Because it was praised by the British monarchy at the time. I believe the Iroquois were a matriarchy, so that's kind of where the appraisal comes from, is the similarity to the British government. Let's move these troops back. No. Maybe. That's what I was... yeah. Well, at the very least, we can clear them in this way. He needs to go back. Try to kill as many of their units back here. I want to try to defensively kill as much of their units, so it'll be easier to go and sack that city. I know for sure the natives didn't have cavalry. There were actually horses in South America, but they went extinct, which is pretty interesting. I'd like to know more about the history behind that. But they have found remains of horses in South America. So there was a point where they did exist on the continent. Based on, I suppose they did DNA testing to determine the age of them, and they predate the arrival of the Europeans. I think they were actually much larger as well. Kind of losing it. I probably should be focusing on this more. I'm losing my armies here. Send my knight forward to kill these guys off. So it was kind of a brutal battle. We lost a lot of soldiers. I'm not the best military commander. But, you know, it will be worth it in the end. Once we conquer the world, we'll no longer have to worry about foreign policy. Get our science research up, commerce, let's develop getting our extra support from these fortifications. And honestly, the Lakota are helping us by being smart enough not to attack the supply wagons. Let's go raise that territory up there. It was a hard-fought battle, but we managed to capture the city. And take as much resources as possible. Make sure that they don't retake the city. National frontiers don't make any sense at all. Just keep my supply wagons close. Get all my units together. Wow, this is kind of behind. That science research. Knowledge is very important. Should definitely not neglect knowledge. Snag that resource, get our caravans up. I didn't notice how far behind we are with our caravans. Okay. Let's keep building up our frontier. Slowly by slowly, we'll get up to the capital of Lakota. We want to disrupt it as much as possible. I would prefer if you didn't do that. It'd be too late. Yeah. Stupid pikemen. Not knowing how to be defensive. clear up these longbowmen. Let's get our armies over there. Okay. It's a little pandemonium over here, but we'll clean things up soon enough. You know, it's okay. Tactical retreat. That's okay. These things happen. Get defensive here. Start trying to take the army seriously here. See if I can kill up some of these units. This fortification up too, to extend our boundaries and give us more room to start building. Oh yeah, economy. What's that? Keep up with economics too. Okay, let's try taking Minnesota again. The issue is it's so close to an industrial center, but once we take out their military industrial center, we'll be good. More towers. The more we aggress, the better position we'll be in. They're massively on the defensive, so it doesn't really matter how many troops we lose. We'll continue to gain ground. Bring these troops around. And we'll start attacking these stables and siege factories. Recording. Recording. Okay, sorry guys. What's going on? Build everything I got. Take down that fortress to get forward. Group our armies. Out units. To expand our territory. Oh, their capital's right there. Still, I want to get this fortress down. It's not safe for us to do this. Probably also take down that tower. Right there. While for us to get here, but I think we're in a very good position now. That tower is still a bit of a problem, but I think we're out of range. We kind of have enough units that we can start sieging it down. I want most of my army defending our trebuchets until the capital falls. Okay, so now we just have to hold this for 2 minutes, roughly, and we should be good to go. Be good to take out these industry centers. They're pretty much done at this point. Not building any more units. At least not out of those areas. Let's go out for their lost city. Maybe we can beat them without even having to wait for the timer. This is the annoying thing about not having actual boundaries. Oh, okay, I think I see a trail here. Taking attrition, so that's a good sign. I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, so we capped it in 3806. It's a little bit. It's long. It's long. We could have definitely played our military a little bit better, but hey, we won, so. That's good. So we got our Oath of Fealty and nothing else. But we beat the Lakota, and that's really all that matters. So, we can pause for world events and anything else related to that. Go through it a little bit. Just give you a chance to take a look. And it also looks like the Aztecs have taken the other half of North America, so we're probably going to have to beat them back. Looks like the Maya's doing okay. Take a look at Europe, Asia, around the map. When we come back, guys, we're probably going to try to take the rest of America, North America. But until then, this has been Astrobat. Taking a look around the world to see what we're going to conquer next. It's Tulsi Gabbard and the Americans. The British are up in the north, that's going to be a little bit dangerous. So, until next time, I'll see you guys later, and take care.